Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. There is the market bell. Can't start your day without that market bell. But today, let's take a look at what's going on with the U.S. market, with Bitcoin, of course. We have one guy, he's known as CZ, who's very bullish and getting ready for the next bull run already. So what's that about? And let's talk about what else is going on in the world today. So, welcome, guys. Good morning. We are off to the races and in the green right now. So far. I mean, this hasn't updated. The market bell did ring already. So, we will see if today is a good day, green or not. Yesterday, little choppy right off the bat. Was green, then red, ended up in a green. Could be the same way today. Of course, we are waiting one more day until the big CPI data release. That will be tomorrow morning. So I think everyone is still kind of waiting for that. But in the meantime, things are still holding relatively well. Bitcoin is about 17.3, 17.4, about the same as yesterday. Altcoins are still slightly higher. We're still getting little trend up for altcoins, so that's good. And we'll see how the stock market is today. But I find this interesting. It's headline news. It's on the front page of CNBC. Binance is planning on hiring 15 to 30% more headcount in 2023, even though you have the likes of Coinbase slashing another 20%, Kraken 30%, Crypto.com, 20%, and we're talking about slashing. Binance is the only exchange that hasn't slashed and wants to continue hiring. So according to this, their employee count is now almost up to 8,000. They went from, in 2022, which was a bad year, okay, 3,000 people in 2022, and now they're up to 8,000, and they want to add another 2,000-3,000 to the company. That shows you how well they are doing, how prepared CZ is. In fact, he's doing this because he's saying that they're not well organized enough for the next bull run, which of course is probably going to start in 2024 after the next halving event. But still, he's trying to get things ready years before it actually happens. That's maturity in the space, guys. As I know some of you guys remember, during our peak bull run seasons, many exchanges actually shut down. I mean, not shut down, but they basically they limped out. Like they couldn't handle the volume, and you know, there were days or hours where certain exchanges you just couldn't do anything on them. And this was even for Binance and Coinbase and Gemini, and I remember Robinhood, right? I've always complained about how the infrastructure just wasn't enough, wasn't there, right? But CZ wants to make sure that doesn't happen. So ultimately, this is what we want to see. Maturity in the space. And Binance continues to thrive while others seem like they're continuing to struggle. I did mention about Coinbase, right? Even though they're slashing their workforce, they're trying to be more efficient. Their stock rallied pretty hard yesterday, about 12% after this. And today, Cathie Wood, it was discovered that Cathie Wood bought another $1.5 million worth of coin stock yesterday. Cathie Wood keeps on buying. In fact, according to this, the firm's 11th buy in less than a month. She's been stocking up on Coinbase, also thinking not only is this a great time to be stocking up after Coinbase is down 80%, but this could also be our local bottom and we may be trending higher, not only for crypto, but maybe even for equities too. I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking, but she's very, very bullish on Coinbase right now. 11th buy in less than a month. Every 3 days, she's DCAing. Every 3 days. So, we'll see if this pays off. What else is going on today? Unfortunately, unfortunately, we have this one person, Jane Wong, who's been basically hacking into Twitter, so to speak, to figure out what they're doing in terms of their crypto plans. They are coming out with something like called coins, but unfortunately, it's not really a crypto. It's like an in-platform currency that you could purchase, and then you could reward people for their posts. So if they post, if someone, your favorite person, tweets out something you really love, you can reward them or, tip them with Twitter coins. But unfortunately, it turns out, at least from what she has discovered, coins is not a crypto, not running on a blockchain. And this has nothing to do with their in-house wallet or with Doge or anything like that. Kind of disappointing if you ask me. They could have just made it so that you're tipping people with Dogecoin. Right? Why not? He's been such a big supporter of Doge. Haven't heard him talk about it much recently. In fact, for probably over a year now. I don't know why he couldn't just implement Doge. Maybe the regulators would hound him for it, and that's the last thing he needs right now. But still, kind of disappointing. Anyways, but it looks like they're partnering up with Stripe, so you could use Stripe to make purchases, right? With your credit cards, and then you can buy coins and tip people with it. And then as a creator, you get rewarded, and you could cash out after you accumulate $50 worth of coins, something like that, right? Again, I'm still hopeful that this develops into something more than just like a in-platform currency, right? Hoping that crypto, Doge, whatever, Bitcoin, Ethereum all gets integrated in the future, but Elon has a lot of other things to deal with right now. All right, what else is there? This is also very bullish. The CME Futures is drawing a premium for the first time since FTX collapse. So not good at all. You can see that Binance also has futures, CME has futures. You can see that it was in a positive, and this is going all the way back to November of 2022. So that's like, what, 3 months now? Because, things were looking bad, traders just not buying as much. Futures, so premium actually dropped to negative. In fact, almost negative 8% for CME. That's crazy. But now you can see CME Futures positive for the first time. Binance Futures is already positive. What does this mean? Institutional investors are coming back into the space because only institutions really buy the futures. No one in the retail space is buying Bitcoin futures. They're just buying Bitcoin. So it does show that institutional interest is slowly coming back. Not all the way, of course. They're still very cautious. There's still a lot of macro stuff to worry about, but ultimately this is bullish. A little bit more interest right now. What's also interesting, I found this. This is actually looking at the Bitcoin miners broken down by country. So, us in the United States, we control about 10,000 nodes. It's weird that it's 9,999. But we control about 30%, almost close to 31% of all Bitcoin mining. Now, before, once upon a time, it was well over 50%, probably 60 or 70% of mining was located in China, right? But that has gone away ever since they kicked out most of the miners, which is good. So now the United States controls about 30%, Germany about 14%, Canada about 6%, Netherlands about 5%, Russia 4%, France, UK about 4% each, Japan and Finland. It's kind of interesting. And then if you break it down by city, Frankfurt has the most at 2%. Now, there's NA about 18% because people are hiding behind a VPN to kind of, obscure where their location is. But if you're looking at this, Frankfurt, Germany is number 1. Ashburn, United States is number 2. Toronto's up there. London, Amsterdam, Moscow, Tokyo, Dublin, Helsinki. But it's interesting. In the United States, it's not like, I don't know, a huge city like Houston or or I don't know, somewhere else. But I get it. You know, I get why. But anyways, just wanted to show you guys. But according to this, there are 43,706 nodes running across. It's interesting. Interesting. All right. This is also positive, pretty bullish in Hong Kong. They're going to approve a set of crypto tokens for retail trading. So basically, regulators, specifically their securities regulator, is going to open up and relax their stance on crypto because, I mean, the whole world just got really fearful after FTX. But now they're starting to realize you can't blame the entire crypto space just based on one actor, one bad actor. So things will move forward, and that's good. That's good. So Hong Kong could be pro crypto once again in the future. And of course, this is positive. Of course, we have a lot of patterns comparing our situation versus before. Here's one showing our bearish divergence right now and the one that we went through in 2020, right? Very similar indeed. And if you're a patterns guy, well, look at this. We were in a descending triangle, right? And now we're in an ascending triangle. So we're going to go back to our previous levels, 18, 19, 20K. That's what we're waiting for, right? We are slowly trending up, ever so slowly. But if we continue to do so, we'll at least be back to our 18, 19, 20. And that is a much better position. So we'll see. We'll see. And if you really, 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 really don't have the patience for that, well, then you could just go buy Mega Millions, which is now up to $1.35 billion. I don't know what it is with these giant lottos. They seem to be increasing ever so quickly now. I remember Mega Millions was just like 300, 400 million like a few weeks ago. And yesterday it was above 1.1 billion. And now we're at 1.35, which is already the second largest in history. Things are escalating very, very quickly. Yeah. But be responsible. And I'm not a paid spokesperson for the lotto. I'm just saying, man, 1.35 billion. Think about how much Bitcoin you can buy with 1.35 billion. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. Where's the market now? Pretty good. Plus 157, plus 68 for NASDAQ. Bitcoin above 17.4 again, moving in the right direction. All right, let's do some Q&A. Retro Mike, going to have to rename it to Mega Billions. I mean, that's what it seems like. Pretty soon we're gonna have jackpots above 2 billion. I can't even fathom winning that much within one single jackpot. That's just crazy. That's bonkers. All right, let me see if I missed anything. Scrolling up here. Last minute, Binance received regulatory approval to operate in Sweden. Wow. That's good. And they did. The judge is going to allow them to move forward with the purchase of Voyager. So that's also good. Even though that's with Binance.us, which is a different entity. But I think moving forward with that is also good. Why people using Robinhood in New York State cannot withdraw their Dogecoin? I think that's in general, right? I don't think they ever open up withdrawal for Doge. Illegos. I'm not sure. I don't use Dogecoin. I don't use Robinhood. So I can't tell you. I thought they only opened it up for a few. I mean, New York is different. Things operate differently because of that bit license, which is very, very strict. So that could play a part. Would you suggest purchasing crypto on Robinhood? I mean, honestly, there are better places. I mean, if you're going to start, just start with Coinbase. A lot less scrutiny. Yeah, scrutiny. It's just easier. Experience is easier. You can withdraw pretty much anything that you purchase. Instead of stability too, I'm not sure I quite trust Robinhood and their financials at this point. So, I mean, if you're desperate and you have no other option, then okay, yes. But I think there's a lot better options out there. Patrick, thank you, my man. How high do you think VET can get in 2025? It'll be my first bull run, waiting to understand a bit more. Well, if you're waiting, if this is going to be your first bull run, then just don't worry about the price. Utilize your time right now, Danielle, to understand what VET is about, why I like them, why so many other people like them, right? And what they're trying to do, especially now until 2025. I do know that VeChain, they're absolutely huge in the East. They're trying to be huge in the West. They started out being mostly for a supply chain project, tracking every piece of the supply chain from from producers, manufacturers to the retailers, right? And as customers, you can track if your items are legit, authentic, ever been tampered with, right? But they're moving beyond that. They're trying to move more into the consumer space, like with DeFi, growing that out, growing their their whole ecosystem. They have their own stable coin. Now they're trying to get more DEXs. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff. And they have this big partnership with UFC too. But utilize the time to learn as much as you can. That's what I would suggest. Do you think tomorrow's CPI report will make the market green? But Powell's comment will make it go back into red. I think if the CPI data is too good, there's really nothing he could say to make it bad. It's not like inflation goes down greatly, and then he's going to say, well, we're going to continue to be very aggressive with our rates. I mean, he just can't possibly say that. He could try, but overall, I think going forward, we're going to see better days. Let's just put it that way. Can we see 30K this mid-year bull run? You know what? I don't know. If we have a tremendous catalyst that pushes us upwards, I could definitely see that. But it'll be a little bit too quick, and we may retrace if that happens. I think a realistic goal is to see something like 30K by the end of the year. That would be roughly almost double, like almost 100% for Bitcoin. And for like someone like Ethereum and BNB and XRP or Cardano, they're going to be more than double. So that could see Ethereum back to like 2,500. That could see BNB possibly back up to like 500, right? So if we could see Bitcoin back to like 30K by the end of the year, I think that's a realistic goal. But can we get there beforehand? Let's say tomorrow's inflation number is absolutely awesome. Like the most awesome numbers we have ever seen. Inflation goes down by a full percentage point in December versus November. And Powell comes out saying, "Oh man, we're going to seriously think about not raising rates anymore." Something like that. The most bullish thing that could come out tomorrow. And the markets get driven up. Yeah, can we see a quick run to 30,000? Yeah, but then we'll probably retrace a little bit. That's kind of how I think. Anyways, tomorrow I don't even know what I'm saying. Powell is not even going to be speaking tomorrow. He spoke yesterday. He's not going to be speaking until February. So we got the numbers tomorrow, and then we got to wait for February. February 2nd is when he's speaking, I believe. Tooth Fixer LV. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Do you prefer Coinbase or Binance if you had to choose? Honestly, because I'm not a newcomer in the space, I would choose Binance.us for those people in the US that wants more options. Binance.us is absolutely awesome. They started out being real shitty, to be honest, especially compared to Binance. Now they are very, very good. Very good. But Coinbase is still the leader for sure. So, I mean, you really can't go wrong with either. And if you're really scared about, hacks or exchanges going under, you're scared about exchanges, well, as soon as you buy, you can just remove and put into self-custody wallet, like a Ledger or Trust Wallet, Coinbase Wallet. There's many options, right? So you can always protect yourself, but you gotta know what you're doing and learn how to safeguard your recovery phrase. Tiberius, almost a Bitcoin multi-coiner now. Good for you. Good for you. Bitcoin forming another green candle. That's good. Jerome Powell says he's shutting down Mega Millions so inflation gets back to 2%. States would be, man, a lot of states really depend on a lotto. Not just Mega Millions and Powerball, but their own state lottos and scratch lottery and stuff like that. But, man, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Cash option at $707 million. But if this goes up even more, we're talking about, even if you take the cash option, it'll be close to $1 billion. Here's the thing. Here's a friendly tip for those of you guys that plan on winning the lotto. If you want to avoid being one of the guys that are, that are announced, because why would you let people know that you have won the lottery, right? But I think there's some state laws that requires them to disclose. So if you don't want to be disclosed, the first thing to do is, well, first of all, don't turn in a ticket because you have a year to turn it in. You have to go form a corporation and then redeem it as a corporation. So then, if they disclose, it's just a corporation. It's not your name. At least that's what I've heard. Not that I've done that. Not that I won in Mega Millions, but just FYI. Is MetaMask making a token after all? I don't think so, because MetaMask is supported by Consensus, and they don't have their token. They're really just big ETH guys, right? But, of course, they support other chains, but I don't think they're going to be creating a token. Trust Wallet has a token, but it's useless. So I don't even know why there's a token for Trust Wallet. Did you see Diamond's crypto hurting low-income people? John, no, I did not. I don't know what JB Diamond's problem is. Best to ignore FUD whenever there is FUD. Hey, George, your favorite Air Jordan 13s are coming back in playoff black color sometime this year. And now officially a Bitcoin whole coiner too. Congratulations, my man. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to I have not bought any new Jordans for quite some time. When I say quite some time, months. Because I used to buy them like every month. But there's just too many colorways. And some of the really nice ones, they have not released yet. But I'll be waiting. What is the best way to safeguard recovery phrase? There's no best way. some people, some people put in their safe deposit box, right? But safe deposit boxes are not that secure. I mean, if you think about it, if you write on a piece of paper and a safe deposit box floods with water because the sprinklers go off, well, you're screwed, right? Safe deposit boxes are also not FDIC insured. So the bank goes under, they're not guaranteed to get any of that back. So there's still limitations. But for the most part, if you're putting into a legit bank, most likely you'll have access to it. Also, there's steel plates that you can stamp your recover phrase on, which is good, especially if you want to waterproof it and fireproof it in a way. You could do that. You could put in your lockbox at home or store it somewhere safe, right? Or you could even memorize it. 12 word phrase. 24 may be hard, but you could do it. But most of these wallets are 12 phrases, and you can certainly remember that. If you tried, you could certainly memorize that. So that would probably be the safest. But just make sure you look at it every so often so you don't forget a word or something like that. I mean, there's no right or wrong. You do what's best for you. One is the meetup in Dallas. I've been to Dallas. Very nice city. I bought my very first Rolex there. Just FYI, interesting tidbit. I was there. I've been shopping for Rolex for a long time. I was there for a Toyota event. Happened to come across this watch store right next to my hotel. And they had a nice Daytona. And I scooped it up. I didn't have cash. And I didn't know my credit card would take it, but it did. So good memories. FDIC insurance is up to $250,000 per user, $500,000 per couple, but FDIC insurance does not cover safe deposit boxes. Okay, just know that it only covers your account. Your safe deposit box gets hacked. Not hacked, but stolen. It's robbed. Or something happens, it goes up in flames or something like that. FDIC insurance does not cover that. Just FYI for people that think it is. It's not. Yeah, it was a used watch. It wasn't new. That was a few years ago, and it was already impossible to find new Rolex watches. I mean, it's still prices have come down a lot, especially the very high end ones, but still a very inflated market. And Rolex themselves is going to sell certified used ones too now. What's annoying is if you go to a mall, a lot of these malls have Rolex dealerships. I mean, I call it dealership, but stores. And it's annoying. You can't even walk in. A lot of them they lock the doors. You try to go in and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. You got to make an appointment. I'm like, come on. You guys don't have to be that high up on your horse, right? Many people just want to scroll around, want to see, wants to browse, and they're being all stuck up about it. And quite frankly, what's the point of making an appointment? You can't even buy anything. It's all sold out. DCA day, DCA is at night, not in the morning. Yeah, I avoided paying taxes on it too. I avoided paying taxes because there's a rule. I don't think everyone follows it because I was in Dallas. And they said as long as they shipped it, right, I didn't have to pay sales tax because I lived elsewhere. And I'm like, okay, but can I still wear the watch? And they're like, yeah. So they ended up shipping the box. So I actually saved a few thousand on taxes because of that too. Any plans on coming to the UK? You know what? I've been thinking about that. I actually do want to visit the UK. I just got done watching a show, Peripherals. on Amazon Prime. It's about the UK, but I don't get at all what happened in the season finale or the last episode. I'm so confused, and I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone, but it's a decent show. I don't know. I just was really confused by it. But anyways, going back to UK. I would like to visit sometime. There are a few countries. I've traveled the world somewhat, but there's still a lot of cities, a lot of countries I need to visit. I'd like to go to Australia one day too. I haven't been there. I don't know if I could survive like a 18-hour flight or whatever it is. I'd like to hit Japan, a lot of Europe. I like to visit. I've been to a few countries, but still a lot more. If you had 30K, you need a car that's good in snow. Which car would you buy? Subaru probably has the best all-wheel drive system, right? They call it the symmetrical all-wheel drive. A story from years back when I was really broke and I needed a secondary car to get me around. I bought like a 20-year-old Subaru Outback for like $2,000. It had like 200,000 miles on it, right? But I'll tell you this. In deep snow, we had a couple snowstorms. That all-wheel drive was awesome. We actually ended up going on a snow trip with it. Drove a couple 100 miles. And I remember we had this big snowstorm. Everyone on the highway was going like 30 miles per hour. I was flying past people going like 70 or 80 in deep snow in a 20-year-old Subaru Outback. And that all-wheel drive outperformed every car on the road. Now, this was like 10 years ago, but, it kind of shows you. I don't think things change. So if you're looking for a decent car for around $30,000, you really can't go wrong with something like an Outback. Or Subaru has their new, bigger SUV like the Ascent. Their all-wheel drive system is awesome. What happens to NEO stock if China was to invade Taiwan? Same fate as Alibaba. I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. Okay, we have enough things to worry about right now. China is not in a good shape because they're still dealing with COVID. Now they have zero COVID policy. Everyone's getting sick and trying to recover, try to build up that herd immunity, right? They're still devastated. Their economy, their production is really bad. So I doubt this is the time that they want to do it. And plus, we still have a war already in Europe. We don't need another one in Asia. So let's hope that never, ever happens. Roarcore, genius shipping on a roller box. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good too. Saved a lot of money there. My 2015 Jeep Cherokee. The older Cherokees, your generation was the one that really changed the game for Cherokees, because all the previous ones were kind of blah, but that one was really, really well made. Won a ton of rewards. The new Cherokee that just came out, I'm not a fan of. It looks funky. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't like the new Jeep Cherokee. My TRX does great in the snow. TRXs are awesome. I tested one last year. I would totally get one, except right now I have no driveway space, no parking space at all. Maybe next year, after my house is done, I would consider getting one. I have been to Hong Kong, maybe like 10 years ago. I actually really enjoyed it. The public transit, the train underneath the city is fantastic. You can go anywhere in the city really quickly, very easily, very safe, very clean. What's your favorite research tools for finding next gem? Hey, there's really no right or wrong answer. Just start digging. If you really don't know, go down the list, go to page 2 on CMC, right? And just start looking at Twitter, looking at their Discord, looking at their website, look everything that you can find about the project and what they're working on, right? How active is the team? How well known is the team? Do they have any experience, right? What their roadmap looks like. Also look at some of the basic things, like what are they doing? Is it realistic that they can achieve it? Or is it something silly? Or is it something that the industry needs? Or the competition? I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that you could look at. And even though you find the next gem, doesn't mean that 100% it's going to break out. Also, it depends on marketing, how active they are. You know, because there are some great projects that do no marketing and they never go up because no one knows about them. Buckle up. We're going to the moon tomorrow. Well, I'm already buckled up. I'm strapped on at all times. You know, the thing I hate about trucks with all their... Well, I mean, some trucks now have all-wheel drive. But 4x4 is great, you know, unless... You know, 4x4 is great if you're just, like, going straight. But, you know that 4x4 binding, like when you're making turns in a parking lot or, you know, you're backing out. You know, I can't stand that for 4x4s. And so it makes you look like an idiot, too. Like you go stall the car. A true story. Again, I don't know why I'm sharing so many true stories today. I had a 2010 Tundra. You know, like the second day or third day, I was going to the Home Depot. And I was testing out the 4-wheel drive system. And I just turned it on, and it's fine. Then I get to the Home Depot parking lot. And then, you know, this guy is, like, right on my ass. Like, we're in the parking lot already, so I don't know why he was on my ass. But anyways... and then I try to get out and try to park. But then because the 4-wheel drive setup, like, binded up, and it's like, it looked like I was stalling, like I was driving a manual into the parking lot. And then the guy parks next to me and gives me a dirty stare, as if I'm like an idiot, right? Yeah, that was not a fun moment. FYI. So just know that 4-wheel drive is good if you're just going down the highway or something. But if you're, like, stuck in a parking lot, it's not really that fun. It wasn't a Lowe's. There's not that many Lowe's around me. Do you think CPI news is already priced in? Yes, except it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore low inflation, right? Like if tomorrow's reading is low, it's coming in low, you know, it's hard to turn that into bad. I don't know, it could be, but, you know, we haven't rallied that much this week. U.S. market's barely up today. It was barely up yesterday, so... FTX has recovered $5 billion worth of liquid assets. That's pretty good. Liquid assets, including cash, crypto, and securities. Where all of a sudden they got all that. And there goes seeds about $500 million. The news comes after federal prosecutors announced plans to seize at least $500 million worth of FTX connected assets. I think that's like Robinhood stock. I don't know what else, where else they pulled $4.5 billion from. But it's good. It's good. I wonder who's going to end up buying FTX assets. I think Binance is probably going to end up buying them. But yeah, I don't know. The regulators would kill Binance for that. I don't know who's going to end up buying the assets eventually. Or maybe they're not going to auction it off. They're just going to give it back. I don't know, because it's such a big case. I don't even know what they plan on doing. How's your diet doing? I'm asking because I am intermittent fasting myself. I'll tell you this. Intermittent fasting works right off the bat, and later on it doesn't work. It's not going to really help you lose weight. But the good thing about intermittent fasting is there's two things that's good. Number one less meal you have to worry about to eat. Like, you don't have to worry about, I mean, like, when you get older, you guys know, like, the biggest question of the day is, like, what am I going to eat? For every meal. So that's like 3 meals. So now you cut that down to 2. So you just remove breakfast and just drink coffee. But also it helps you cut down on calories, because ultimately you need to be on a calorie deficit to lose weight. So removing 1 meal from the day helps you do that. So you can eat a little more for lunch and dinner, but ultimately intermittent fasting itself doesn't help really lose weight. I've been doing it for a while. At first it did, but then, now I'm just used to it. Is Harmony still a good project? They are, but I don't know if they're going to recover, honestly. Their hack and DeFi Kingdom's leaving, those are 2 big blows. I don't know if they're going to be able to recover. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, pretty good start. Bitcoin back above 14.2. The entire crypto market cap is still up almost 1%. Well, maybe it was close to 1%, but still up. U.S. market is up. We got one more day until a big CPI reading, so we'll see how it is. All right, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.